So yeah, I've recorded this video 3 times, so let's get into it. What's going on, button pushers, and welcome to the channel. My name is David. Today we're going to be talking about a camera that I'm actually super excited for that is not the EOS R5. So it's 2020 and a lot of cameras have been planned to be released and are actually going to be released. So today I want to talk to you about the Red Komodo, one of the cameras that I'm super excited for. Now, I don't actually own a Red. I've played with Reds in a lot of productions. I've used Reds, I've used Aries, I've used a lot of different cameras. And the Red Komodo looks super promising, and it's a camera that I actually am super excited for. But before we get into it, I want to remind you guys that all of these are rumors or leaked information about the camera itself. There's a lot of things that aren't completely confirmed, and a lot of information that is kind of speculated or just leaked in general. So first and foremost, the Red Komodo is a 4x4 box. Yes, it's just a square, it's a tiny camera. Now, if you think about it, your phone, if you have an iPhone Plus of any generation, it's going to be about 6 inches tall. It's going to be about this big and this wide. That is tiny. Imagine being able to hold that in your hand while you're filming and just, having it be so lightweight and so amazing. Being that small, you might have some, doubts, but at the same time, you have to remember the other specs that come with that tiny box. So the Red Komodo is going to shoot in super 35mm 6K up to 50 frames per second, which is an absolutely amazing amount of quality and just overall sensor. On top of that, the Red Komodo is going to be able to shoot in Red RAW codec, which is an amazing codec that if you put it into Premiere Pro or any other editing program, you are able to change a ton of things from the white balance to the color profile to a bunch of different things to be able to just edit all of that and retain as much information as possible. And being able to record it in this tiny 4x4 body at 6K up to 50 frames per second is amazing. If anybody has used Reds, they know that Red is known for the high resolutions along with the high frame rates together, and that's what makes Red and all their cinema cameras actually useful or really special compared to a lot of other things. Alongside that, we're promised 14 stops of dynamic range, which is pretty common amongst most Red cameras and a lot of cinema cameras. We usually get anywhere between 12 to 15 or 16 stops of dynamic range depending on the cameras. Having this tiny body that's able to do what a DSMC2 Red camera can do, which is the latest, most recent line of Red cameras, the DSMC2s, and be able to do that in such a tiny body, absolutely awesome. The Red Komodo is able to switch between rolling shutter mode and global shutter mode. If you don't know what a rolling shutter is, it's when you kind of record and you whip the camera back and forth a lot and you get this kind of image where the lines aren't straight. So if you kind of look at my phone, you might notice that it's skewing a little bit and the lines don't stay straight perfectly. I can show you guys some examples of rolling shutter here. As you can see, the lines get a little bit weird because the camera might be moving too fast. In global shutter, this lessens that if not completely removes. The Red Komodo is going to have a Canon RF Mount. The new Canon lens system, the Canon RF lenses for the EOS R, the EOS R5 and whatnot. So to be able to have this allows you to use adapters on the Red Komodo that allow you to throw in ND filters into the slot or add in speed booster that someone may eventually make to be able to kind of enhance your capabilities. So the Red Komodo is really implementing this third-party compatibility because it also uses Canon batteries. The Canon batteries that you see on the C200 and the C500 Mark II are compatible with the Red Komodo. So it makes it a lot easier for people that are in the Canon space or any other third parties to be able to use and to adapt to this Red Komodo camera because you're not switching too much about it. While we're on the topic of switching and compatibility, we're actually seeing a shift from the Red Minimags, which is the storage system rather than SD cards, CF cards, CFast cards that people usually use in cameras. Reds tend to use the Minimags, which are super expensive, but in the Red Komodo, we're actually seeing a shift into CFast 2.0 cards, which is super handy because it saves you a ton of money and actually allows you to use it in other cameras, not just Reds. We're also going to get a monitor on top of the Red Komodo body itself, a touchscreen on body monitor. It's a pretty tiny screen, because if I'm telling you that it's a 4x4 body and it's on top, it's going to be puny. It's going to be a really tiny screen, so having an external monitor is probably the better idea, but to have that monitor on hand on body is going to be absolutely useful because it's used to control the camera itself, as well as possibly working the new autofocus phase detection system that Red is introducing in the Red Komodo, which is really revolutionary for a lot of people because autofocus is something that really helps out sometimes. A lot of times people may not use it because manual focus is the industry standard, but to be able to have that autofocus is going to be very useful, especially for people like me who tend to do things on their own a lot. And you know, I may not have hands on a first base seat, so to be able to have that autofocus is going to help a ton. And maybe it's not going to be the best because I do know a few cameras with phase detection autofocus that did not work out as well. So let's see how Red pulls off their phase detection autofocus. Lastly, what I am excited for in the Red Komodo is the modularity. To be able to have this puny camera and to be able to rig it up with follow focuses and top handles and shoulder rigs and monitors, and just to set it up like any other cinema camera in this tiny body and be able to shoot in 6K RAW at 50 frames per second is going to be absolutely amazing. And I cannot wait to get my hands on one, to rig it up, and to be able to start shooting with it and seeing how it plays and all of that. Because this camera was actually meant to be a B camera for any of the other DSMC2 cameras, which I can understand why, because it's not as modular as some other Reds may be. But to be able to kind of still rig it up like a Red camera is going to be absolutely amazing, because I do have Canon lenses, I do not have any cinema lenses, and just that alone is good enough for me to be able to just throw them on top of my Red Komodo, shoot with it like it would with any other Red camera, bring it back, edit in Red Code RAW, and produce this beautiful image. That's enough for me. And if you guys want to compare it to any other camera like the Z-Cam or any other cinema cameras, the reason why that Z-Cams are so cheap is because they don't have any support. And when it comes to Red, there's a ton of people in the Red space. There's a ton of customer support for Red. They, answer your emails, and there's a bunch of different things. As far as that, we're down to the price. The price is very much unknown, but people can speculate, people can predict. I'm gonna say it's anywhere between $5,000 to $7,000. It could be going up to $9,000 possibly, but I'm gonna say between $5,000 to $7,000. So hopefully it lies anywhere between then. If it passes that, it might be debatable. We might be better off getting something else, but who knows? We'll wait and see. Anyways, that's all for today's video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick little rumor roundup, kind of why I'm excited to buy this camera video. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you aren't already subscribed, and drop me a comment below. Let me know, what camera are you excited for? It doesn't have to be Red, it doesn't have to be the EOS R5, it could be whatever you're actually excited for, any camera releasing. I will catch you guys in the next video. Have an amazing day, morning, night, and wherever you're watching from, keep pushing buttons, and I'll see you next time. Peace.